Welcome to Home Improvement JD's YouTube Live. Mainly, tomorrow will be me going to church, but also, first thing, I have a doctor's appointment before church. Then there's going to be, three different preachers, preaching and stuff like that. But mainly, after my doctor's appointment, I am going to be trying to go to that. So, um, and stuff like that. So it's also a preacher's fellowship, and that's what I'm going to be winded up going to. Hey, Rolel, how's it going? So with that all being said, it's top of the line, top of the food chain, stuff like that. But you know, I got shirts made, and they're gonna be coming. They're coming from China, so and it's with the logo that I have already on here, and it's also the logo that's on my Facebook profile page, uh, profile picture. So, with that being said, doing this type of work, it's not too, it's not really. Once you get into it and you fall into it and you find the career that you're wanting to stick with and actually do. It ain't gonna be that hard to find, and it's definitely not that hard to, find a career that you're gonna fall in love with. And really, this is a career that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and so it's pretty much right up my alley and stuff. So you know, and yeah, I can picture myself doing it, but math wise, it's iffy. But the things that I really have, you know, that I'm talking about is pretty much in writing on here. What I posted on here. Um, it's just fixing like door knobs, door hinges, if like they're missing a screw. If they want to switch out a bedroom doorknob, I could do that. If somebody got a new microwave, I I can pretty much install that. It's just set it down, put it on a counter, plug it in. That type of ordeal. That's just how mine is, really, to be honest. My microwave that I have, it just sits on a countertop and stuff like that, and then you just plug it in, it's ready to go. But if it's something like what my sister's got in her house, where it's just up on underneath a cabinet, I can install that. But here's the thing: it's going to be a little bit of a hassle and a issue because you got to have you got to pretty much have two people to hold that up. Now that light's going to end up flickering. Just if you can, just ignore that. My lighting in here is probably not that near as good. Um, and I could buy a little lamp, just put it right here on my desk and move my mini fridge, and stuff like that. But it's not a whole big ordeal or anything. But when you learning wise, whenever you're trying to do stuff with houses and stuff, like, and then the other thing that I got, I've said microwave, but also what I can also do is change out light bulbs, just a little stuff, miscellaneous um and stuff like that, and painting walls. I could do that, stuff that's small like paint and doing little miscellaneous things like fixing a microwave, installing a microwave, fixing doorknobs, door hinges, um, like the little door hinges to hold the door up. If they're missing a screw in like the frame, I can fix that without a problem. Um, Hanging picture frames, that's what, and I am a local handyman. but it's where they just give you a call, and then you do what you can. And I'm on a bike with a trailer, and I just carry all the little things behind that trailer and behind that bike. So if anybody just calls me, I can just do all them little things, and just carry on with my life and go on with it. Enjoy life as it is. Um, right now, we're still pretty much working on the church. We got a long ways to go before finish point. We still got to do a urinal in there, and we got to, put a sink, and then finish up the trim, the baseboards, and a few other things that are minor, supplies and stuff in there. So we just can't do that tomorrow because it is Tuesday, and we just got three different preachers, going on with their business and going on about it, and starts at 10 o'clock. So those of you that might want to come to the Bethel Baptist Church right here, in Riverview, that's perfectly fine. I will be there later on, because, like I said, I have a doctor's appointment, and that is at 9:20 in the morning. So hopefully all will go well on that. It's just mainly a little checkup, and it's a virtual. I don't have to go nowhere. I do it right here on the computer, and talk to the doctor on camera and figure out how everything went. Hopefully the blood work come out good. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Probably tomorrow night, I'll come back with an update, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, as soon as I get my shirts, I'll definitely be back on here to show you what the shirts come out like. Just a heads up, they don't have a back logo, just a front logo. They don't have nothing on the back, just because that was just going to be a little bit of extra money if I was to do the back. So, um, and yeah, and yeah, like I said, they're coming from China, and apparently, I had Amazon make them, so and that's not near as much. And if you do a logo on the front, it's less expensive. If you did one on the back, it would be way more. And what that came back to is just a little bit of money that, I really have a screenshot of how much it came back to, but I don't want to discuss that right now until later on down the road after you guys see what the shirts actually look like on camera and stuff like that as soon as I get them. And yeah, I do have a business hat, but it doesn't have my logo on it. Now, if I really wanted to, I could put a business logo on it, but I'm not going to, because within my business it's going to get dirty. But this is what the business hat looks like, just plain. And so, and like I said, I could have put a logo on it, but I didn't want to. So, and it'll match the frame of the background. It'll match the background because the background of the logo is black, so that hat will definitely match with that. And my guitar is right here next to me. It's just a Yamaha F310, nothing too big. That's new to the channel. It's just, like I said, it's the mascot of the channel, and it just sits right here next to the desk, um, and stuff like that. But I've just played a little bit of Roblox today on the PS5, and I'm just waiting for GTA 6 to come out, mainly. And it's gonna have like as far as what they're saying is that it's gonna have the outline of Tampa and uh, I think Florida in it. So it's gonna. And I think what they're also saying is that you could do some fishing in it and whatever else. But I just hope that they don't put a delay on that, game because everybody's just hoping to play it, and they are saying that it's probably not going to come out until next month sometime. But that's not video games ain't that important. You want to know what's important is the Lord. The Lord is important. Everybody has to be in church. That's church is what's going to keep everybody out of trouble. To be quite honest with y'all, churches and stuff like that, they're just going to keep everybody out of trouble. So if you can go to churches and stuff, that's a blessing, and it's going to be a blessing to whoever else is watching. You know, but it's a so and also whenever you're doing the business that I'm in now, you want to just make sure that you're doing the right thing. Like you don't want to mess any pipes up or anything like that. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's hilarious. Uh, so I worked over there at the church. Of course, that was last week, and it was Friday. It was a Friday because the guy that I helped, he had prison on Saturday all day. So Friday we went to work, and I had a ride picking me up to take me over there. I went over there. We worked on a shower. We got the shower all ready. We turned the water off so we could finish up working, put the rest of the stuff together. Then he tells me to go out there. He shows me where the water pipe is, where I can turn it off and turn it back on. So I go back out there because he tells me to turn it back on. I go out there, turn it on. I can't hear nothing. The door's shut of the fellowship hallway where we're working. So I go turn off the water and I run back to open the door. All I hear is turn it off, turn it off. Water. I turn the water off, go back in there, water everywhere, all over the floor, all over the walls, everything else. So finally, we're getting mops and everything and drying everything up. We fixed it. He tells me to turn it back on. So about that time, I turn it back on and stuff like that. And so I do that, and I come back in. He's like, prop the door open, so that way if I'm hollering, you can hear me. So I get a little metal chair, put it where to prop the door open. I set it up like a chair style, put and open the door, put the chair in front of it. I turn that water on. I don't hear nothing, so I grab the chair and shut the door back. And he takes that drill, puts it right diagonal with the where you turn that shower on, and loosens up a screw, and that he didn't realize it was going to turn it on. So he's just unscrewing it, and all I hear is, and I'm like, "What happened?" He said, "I got showered. I took that screw gun and undid that screw, and it hit me right here in the chest." He said it woke him up though because it was cold. He got squirted, man, with shower water, man. That was mm, water done went everywhere. Whenever he told me to turn that water on, and everything else. But I'm not even going to say that we're halfway done. We're at the halfway finish point because we're not. We still got to get a urinal. We still got to get a sink in. We still got to finish up the trim and the baseboards and stuff like that. But I think it shouldn't be too much longer. I think we're getting there just about. So and I didn't know this until my neighbor told me, but Jesus used to do. Jesus did what carpenter worked, and I didn't even know that, but I do know now that he. I do know it now because this type of work is gonna rely on me the good the goodwill in the Lord. So you know, and do I miss doing yards? Eh, somewhat, but I still got two customers that I can do it for. That's just a blessing there. And I'll just, if they need me, I'll text and say, "Hey, do you need me to do your yard?" They'll text me back, say yes or no, and I'll just go on with it. But I'm blessed to have a really good high paying job for right now. But it's not it's not well, what's that word called here? You gotta learn before you take care of whatever it is that you're wanting to work with. But with this type of job, I'm not able to do with like electric or plumbing. I just have to do like what it is now. Just like I said, painting, hanging picture frames, fixing miscellaneous small things, installing things, and putting things together. All that stuff I had posted on this channel. So if you guys want to, or I haven't posted it on a YouTube live, but if you go to the YouTube and it says post, and you go to me and you hit post, you'll see what I posted. You'll see the pictures and everything. And then my phone number's out there. So if you guys have any like small work or whatever, you guys can feel free to give me a call. Like I said, I paint, and if it's a small tear down, I can do that. But somebody's also going to have to, rebuild, because I don't rebuild. There's a lot of math involved, but I can help somebody. That's for sure. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm helping somebody up at the church, but I'm also doing it for free because it's the church house, and it's also the Lord's house. So I'm doing it for. On top of that, I'm doing it for the Lord. But if it's like labor work where I'm just working for somebody or whatever, that's can't do it for free. I gotta get paid for it. So that's no more free, no more free labor, no more doing jobs for free. It's high paying. That's what it is now. Um, no more doing yards for free. It's gonna be a high paying job, to where if somebody calls me, it's gonna be money involved. It ain't nothing gonna be for free. If the government ain't free, I ain't working for free. If you have to pay for the government's gas and everything else, you got to pay me for the labor, because it ain't no more working for free and all this other yada yada bull crap. Okay, that's where I come in. If the government ain't free, I ain't working for free. If because I'm gonna tell you, groceries ain't free, and every little stuff that you take care of or do, it ain't for free. If you can't just walk into a store and think that you can buy something for free, that doesn't solve nothing. Because nothing out there in the world is free. Truck, your car insurance ain't free. You got to pay that. Um, and everybody's got taxes to pay and everything like that. And, that ain't a bad thing, because there's nothing about that. That's what it is. And, but what you do for a job and what you do for a living, you know, it's it's the Lord. The Lord wants you to work, and if it wasn't for the Lord, we wouldn't have grocery stores or anything like that. We wouldn't have not a thing. Nothing out there is free. I'm telling you, the government ain't free. People don't understand that, but we do, because we got good brains that'll last us for a good month or a good year. And 10 months out of the year, you just never know what the Lord could bring to us. You just never know. There's a lot of good things out there that the Lord has done, though, for me and my family. And there's a lot of people that don't even realize it, but the Lord does a lot. And if you pray, He can hear that and He'll fix everything. So, and like I said, if you guys are good and willing to, you guys could like and subscribe to this channel, and like and subscribe to the church's channel, and definitely top of the line, uh, like and subscribe to the Striking Iron podcast. If you guys never heard of the Striking Iron podcast, uh, that runs by Brother Glenn, the guy that I'm helping, and Brother Jeff Newmans. Those two guys, they do the prison ministry, and they do that every other Sunday and every Thursdays. They also do the Striking Iron podcast. Um, I don't really know their schedule for that, but they do post YouTube video shorts, and they do the long YouTubes. And I hope that everybody on this channel watches this and brings the joy to the Newman family, and especially to the other, you know, um, brother Glenn that's on there as well. So just bring the joy to them and help help the church grow just a little bit of a hair, help my business grow, and God bless everybody that watches, because the Lord does a lot. There's a lot of people that probably don't understand that, but they do. The Lord and God does do a lot. And that's where a lot of people just come in, and you just gotta, if you don't lie to people, they won't lie to you. But there's a lot of people that if you lie to them, they're not gonna believe a word, and about what you say. And then of course, if you lie, you gotta tell, if you tell one lie, you gotta tell 10 more lies to cover the one. That's just common sense right there. If you tell one lie, you got to tell 10 to cover the other one. So, that's just you got to have common sense, especially within math. But I struggle with my math. But here, this is what I can tell you. I can practice it. I can definitely study more if I put my mind to it. And I'm going to tell you, if I don't give up a guitar, I can do anything I put my mind to. But if I don't give up that guitar and I keep practicing, I'll get it. I'll get the chords, strings, or whatever you want to call them down, and I can start playing. But here's the thing: I'm turning it into a job, and I can't do that no more. I just got to sit down and practice every other day, and not stop. I just got to keep doing it. So, thanks for watching this channel. I do appreciate it, and just pray that the business here will pick up and grow. And as soon as I can and get back on here, I will show you the shirts and stuff like that. But God bless every single one of you. And I do bless that you guys watch more of these channels, and go shoot over there to Brother Jeff Newman's Striking Iron podcast and give him a few likes and thumbs ups and stuff like that. And I'll ask you guys next time on here, and you guys can comment to see if I did you all right. So, all right, y'all, take care. Home Improvements, JD out.